She was born Mia Young, but we know her by her stage name, Mia X, and she's the godmother of Southern gangster rap and the first female MC to sign with rapper, entrepreneur, and music powerhouse Master P on his successful record label, No Limit Records. In 1992, she released a single titled Ask Them, and in 1993, her widely acclaimed smash, Payback. From 1995 to 1998, Mia X released 3 albums for No Limit: Good Girl Gone Bad, Unladylike, and Mama Drama. The second was certified gold by the RIAA for sales exceeding 500,000 copies.
Here in New Orleans, we're known for a lot of things. Great food, great music, and great people. What if I told you I can give you all 3 in one great person? We're standing in front of the home of legendary hip-hop artist Mia X, the first lady of New Orleans' own No Limit Records. Now, she's taken a hiatus for the past 12 years, but she's back in great effect. Not just with the music, but as Queen and President of the Team Whip Them Pots on various social networks. Working on a new mixtape, various speaking engagements, and also working on a brand new cookbook. She may have taken a break from the limelight, but she's definitely kept busy. Mia invited us here today to show us what she's been doing, have a little small talk, but mainly to whip them pots. Come on in, let's see what she's got going on. We're here with the legendary Mia X, biggest mama Mia Young, a few different names she goes by now. What's going on, Queen?
I'm good. Don't say the government name.
Well, first you put it out there.
No, I didn't.
You're on Facebook.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
It's all good. So, we talked a little bit earlier off camera about, what you have going on. But, now you are, as I call you, Queen and President of the Team Whip Them Pots. You started out a while ago in the music industry and dominated that field. I guess what's the comparisons of what you're doing now versus, that?
Well, it's a similar feeling because it comes from the soul. Music came from the soul, and cooking definitely came from the soul. I was raised in my mother and my grandmother's kitchen. They were great cooks. They started me off in the kitchen at a young age. And right now, just like with music, I wanted to inspire women, especially single mothers, because I was a single mother. Right now, I want to inspire people to cook because I'm noticing that a lot of ladies are spending a lot of time looking really beautiful, but they're not getting up on their survival skills.
That's what I'm talking
about.
The
cooking and the cleaning, and you don't look at it as matronly. You look at it as a survival skill because if the restaurant shut down and the grocery man closed his store, you want to be able to plant you something in the backyard, and you definitely want to be able to cook.
All right, so Mia, you getting your farm on too? Hold on, I ain't know all that. Oh, all right, hold on, that's another segment.
We gonna deal with that.
We're gonna deal with that a little later. I forgot. Yeah, you all over this place still. So, I know you said that that's the main reason, but what inspired you? Because I know you're about to do your book now. What inspired you to do that? Because that's back into the industry. Not, of course, not in the music end, but that's back to that part of it. What inspired you to do that?
Well, I lost my mother and my father and my grandmother. And my grandmother said some of the most profound things you will ever hear. She was really down to earth. She had a beautiful spirit. And a lot of times when I'm laughing with my cousins and we're reflecting on her memory, we talk about things she said, things she showed us. And I decided to just do a memoir, and I started as early as 5 years old when I would go to work with her, all the way up until the point when she passed. She passed in my home because she was living with me when I was 31 years old. And once I started writing, I had to definitely incorporate my experiences in the music business, and my life with her in general. And as people read through it, they was like, this is really interesting and you should publish this. And the things she said and the stories, I'm being really open about my life as a teen mother, my experiences as a writer, my experiences as a recording artist, how I was to work with all men. And people just said that they felt it and they thought that it would be really informative and helpful to a lot of people, that's getting in the music business or who want to cook, or people who never had a mother or a grandmother to speak as candidly as my people spoke to me, because they played it straight raw, and gave me what I felt I needed to have to be this woman I am at 43 years of age today.
So you stated a little bit, coming from the hip hop side in a male-dominated field, to you going to every step you've been in, from your incorporated to Tank and everything. You've always been that one main female. To going into the culinary industry, which is still male-dominated. What do you feel sets you apart from not just the males, but other females that are in that industry?
Well, I refuse to budge. I'm naturally New Orleans, plus sized, and I just do me, Music, I write from my heart. Cooking, I cook from my heart, and, I don't try to just blend in with what everybody else is doing. I feel I represent the females that really, really grind, raise their children. They work every day, and they are fearless. So, what separates me from everybody else is I'm just gonna look like your sister or your mama or your auntie. You won't have to put too much on me. It ain't no 2 on a 10. It's just a 10.
Gotcha. I got it. So, we're gonna step out your way. Give us, a little bit of what you're gonna be doing today. What you're preparing for us today.
So today, I am doing stuffed bell peppers because I've lived all over the country, been all over the world, and I noticed that in New Orleans we have a unique way of cooking, especially stuffed bell peppers, because when you go other places, you see like red gravy and rice.
Right.
And we really get down with the various meats and spices, and so I want to show everybody the way we stuff bell peppers. And I'm also going to put a spin on some fried chicken. I do a ranch and cayenne flavored fried chicken.
Wow, ranch?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. I've never tasted it before, so I'm definitely looking forward.
I just pulled it out the...
I see it. I knew it. Oh, that's that New Orleans thing.
That's what we do in New Orleans. That's what I'm hoping to bring. I want everybody to know, our women, our men. That's what Team Whip Them Pots is about. It's about showcasing, down-home cooks and inspiring people to cook. Because in New Orleans, we get busy. The men and the women.
Oh, yeah.
We get busy.
Now, they always borrow stuff from New Orleans. So, after this, El Paula Dean going to have her ranch and some type of pepper.
She need to invite me to come do it with her. That's what she needs to do. That's what she needs to do. That's what I'm all for.
Definitely. So, let me get out your way and, let you whip them pots.
That's right.
All right.
How y'all doing? This is Mama Mia X. I'm about to whip up some bell peppers. Team Whip Them Pots is definitely in the house. And the first thing we're going to do is wash our hands. When you enter somebody's house, you're really supposed to wash your hands to get them evil spirits from outside off. But when you enter somebody's kitchen, you most definitely need to wash your hands. Now, when you're making bell peppers, everybody have their own way of doing things. I cook sort of like my mother and grandmother, but I put my own spin on things because I was always a lady on the go, and I needed to go fast. So I have a faster method in cooking, but it's still an old way. I like my heat on medium to medium high all the time because you won't burn things, for number one, and you always get an even cook. So I'm gonna go with like a tablespoon of butter. I like butter over oil. When I'm doing healthy things, I do rock with olive oil, but we're doing peppers, so to get my seasoning going, I'm gonna go ahead and rock with some butter. First thing I like to do is cook my seasoning. You want to get it nice and tender. After your butter melts, you add it, and you kind of like just let it cook until the onions are transparent and the seasoning is tender. I cut up some onions, garlic, red bell pepper because I'm stuffing green bell pepper, celery, and fresh parsley. That's my seasoning blend. Seems complicated, but it's not. It's so good. really large onion, about 6 toes of garlic, a celery stalk cut really fine, a fourth of a red bell pepper, and like a handful of fresh parsley, just picked and chopped up. Get that. Now, as far as my meat, I like to take a ground chicken, ground beef, mix it together and season it almost like you're doing a meatball. And I like to season to taste. I tell everybody, you know, because some people like salt, some people don't, some people can't have salt. So I really flavor to taste. And what I usually do overnight, I season my salt, my pepper, my garlic powder, my paprika. I season it overnight, sit it in the refrigerator, and right before I get ready to cook, like maybe a half an hour, I let it come out and get a little room temperature so everything kind of settles cool. So this is the meat all ground up, and this is my meat of choice along with shrimp and ham. You can also stuff bell peppers with crab meat and shrimp. You can stuff it with ground turkey, just ground chicken. You can play with any type of meat you like. In New Orleans, that's what we do. We play with the different variations of meat, and we stuff our peppers. Also, we usually take stale French bread and we wet it to stuff our peppers. Well, I didn't have stale French bread. I'm not at home. I've been at various family members' houses during my stay. So I grabbed, it was I think like a Pepperidge Farm stuffing mix. And what I like to do, I like to add like dry parsley, garlic pepper, onion powder, paprika, sage, basil. I like to add different things to the actual crumbs to give it a little more flavor because, you know, for me, I just like things to taste really, really good and be really flavorful, minus like a whole lot of salt. I want you to be able to taste the various spices. So this is pretty much what I did. And I add water to it and it works just fine because I know in a lot of different cities you won't be able to get French bread because it's just not rocking like that. So you can always just take a stuffing mix and you can play with some spices and seasonings and jazz it up to add it to your mixture. You want to make sure you use like about a tablespoon of butter, not too much because your meats pretty much make like a grease consistency and you don't ever want to have like so much grease in your food where you actually taste it because that's nasty. Okay, since everything is beginning to tender, I'm going to go ahead and start adding my meat. So once you have all your meat in, kind of use my spoon to kind of dice it because ground beef, ground chicken, it can get pretty coarse. And then I just start to pour the seasoning in it so we can start our flavor party, baby. Ground chicken is really lean. And I always choose a lean ground beef. Choosing a lean ground beef will eliminate that oil. You don't want to have a whole lot of grease, like I said, floating in your pot because that's nasty and then you have to skim. So if you choose a lean ground beef or if you're just rocking with like ground chicken and ground turkey or just seafood, you won't have that problem. But because I like to do things kind of fast, the leaner the meat, the less the grease. Add me a little more garlic. We about to get this party started. everything is going good. When it's going good, we say it's twerking. Let that go. Let it brown a little bit. While I get ready to do this and this. I always use a ham that's already cooked and it's diced. My family members, my cousin Bunny, my Aunt Queen, they like to run theirs through the food processor and grind it up because it gives your peppers so much flavor. Or you can have the butcher grind it up, or you can use a few chunks. I mean, it really doesn't matter. It's all about your flavor. So I'm gonna throw some chunks in so you get a little more bite to these peppers. But if you grind it up, this here ham in the food processor, it is just awesome. I'm talking about awesome as far as flavor. So, checking on this. It's starting to brown really nice. As you can see, it's not a big oil consistency in the pot, so you don't have to worry about nasty oil just floating all up. I'm having a hard time saying oil. It's making my jaws hurt because it's just easier to say Earl. So, when I say Earl, y'all gonna know I mean oil. In New Orleans, we say Earl, burl, and furl, instead of oil, boil, and foil. That hurts my jaws. So, if you check this pot out, you're not gonna see a whole bunch of Earl. Now that everything is browning beautifully, I can drop my ham in. This is awesome. Just look at everything. All this flavor, baby. This is how we gonna stuff this pepper. Turn my fire down just a little bit and let all this hang out together. Heat my pan because the next step is to cook the shrimp. The shrimp are the last thing to go in. Whenever you're cooking seafood with some type of meat, be it, you're making a gumbo, a stew, a etouffee, a creole, your seafood is the last thing you want to add because shrimp can get really rubbery. All seafood, the texture will change. So you want to make sure whenever you're cooking and you're dealing with seafood, that's the last thing you roll with. Whenever you're dealing with seafood, you want to deal with the Gulf. You can't go wrong with the Gulf, baby. The freshest and the best come from the Gulf. Today I'm working with some Gulf shrimp. We usually use these shrimp for gumbo, but I think they're going to be perfect as far as presentation and you getting the right bite size amount by using them, these gumbo shrimp for my peppers. Turn on this stove. We're going to go to medium. Let it get a little warm. I'm going to show y'all a trick. Make y'all shrimp pop. So I'm going with another tablespoon of butter. We're going to let this melt. Once it melts, we're going to get down with our shrimp. Our butter is melted. Now I'm going to drop my shrimp in. You want to have your shrimp peeled, cleaned, deveined, and ready to go. Yeah, we want every little shrimp we can get. We ain't got no time to leave nothing. So now what I love so much about two-hand Johnny over here. I love so much about adding shrimp to peppers. Everybody loves shrimp and it just do something to the flavor. your shrimp anywhere from like 3 to 5 minutes to really get a good color to them and a nice bite. When they change colors, it's gonna go to like an orange. I'm gonna show y'all a little trick. But right now, I'm gonna let them hang out in the pot. So, while this is good to go, I'm gonna go ahead and add my bread and add a little water. Usually this would be in a strainer, already wet and soaked. But since I didn't have my French bread, I told y'all I went with a stuffing mix. And I tweaked it with some parsley, paprika, salt, pepper, garlic pepper. It's pretty good. I set a little water on the side, and I'm gonna add it just to make sure, you know, the stuffing mix can be a little hard sometimes. You don't want that. Everybody's used to crab boil on boiled seafood, but it's actually a flavor enhancer when you cook it. So I like to take about 2 caps and drop in the water that the shrimp is making. And it's going to give the peppers a little extra bite. Mix that around. If you like really spicy, you can do more than 2 capfuls. But when you're cooking for people, it's important to be mindful that some people are sensitive to spice. So now, I'm gonna go ahead and add these shrimp in this hot liquor to this big pot. And we about to make everything cook together. This right here is a second line. Everybody there, baby, and it's rolling. So what we gonna do, we gonna cook this all together about 10 minutes because we want the pot liquor from the shrimp, the pot liquor from all of the ground meats and the ham. We want our onion, garlic, bell pepper, celery, and parsley. We want all that to just get together. Sometimes I go off and put everything you can think of in stuffed pepper. But about 2.5 pounds of meat will make you between 12 and 14 bell peppers. I have my stuffing for my bell peppers cooked. I prepare to stuff them in the actual bell pepper. And you can do that, you know, in different variations. Some people cut the top of a bell pepper and stuff it. I like to cut it in half because, I mean, it gives you actually more when you're feeding more people. And you want to always make sure you get your pepper really clean inside. Take all the seeds out. Just make sure you're working with a clean slate. I like to stuff with a cooking spoon because I can really pack my peppers with ingredients. So it's like a cooking spoon at a time. Now some people, this is pretty much good enough for them. But me personally, I like my peppers packed. I like the mild high peppers. So, I don't know, maybe it's like about 6 to 7 tablespoons, depending on how big your peppers are. But I like mine to be packed. So you just digging and digging and digging with your fork. Getting ham, getting shrimp, getting ground beef, getting chicken, or whatever you stuff it with. That's the stuffing again. Before you put your peppers in the oven, you want to hit them with a sprinkle of breadcrumbs on the top because it makes a really good crust. You like to have your peppers crispy on the outside, and then when you break off into them, it's all of those moist ingredients, your meats, your seasonings. But I just give it a little light sprinkle. And after I do that, baby, I'm ready to go in the oven. You heard me? So y'all, the peppers and the ranch and cayenne chicken is finished. We are ready to eat. It is about to go down in the house because that's what happens in New Orleans once you make the rice cooperate with the gravy. In other words, once you whip them pots, everybody is ready to eat. So don't forget, when you're making bell peppers, you can stuff them with any type of meat you like. Today we were ground beef, ground chicken, ham, and shrimp. But you can put your twist on it. I'm going to put up the recipe so you can follow step by step and watch it do what it do. You heard me? So until next time, peace of mind, unconditional love, and grind your goals into fruition. You heard me, baby? Y'all just whip them pots.